hell is even that?
Welcome back, YouTube subscribers and viewers. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like. It only takes like 1.10 milliseconds to hit that like button for me. Don't mean a lot to you, but it means an awful lot to me. As you can see, I went to Home Depot. I went to get some small screws, but I couldn't help myself. I had to go ahead and get a 4x8 pine sheet of wood so I can go ahead and put this first top layer on the counters there, or on the base cabinets. I'm sorry, not the counters. But I'm gonna go ahead and, as you can see, they don't make 4x10 foot sheets. So it came up a little short. I have a little bit more than 8 foot. So what I'm gonna do is that end piece is gonna be where the garbage can is anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and butt another piece up against there. I'm gonna go back to Home Depot, get the can, because I actually forgot to get it while I was there. Because I didn't know I was gonna get the top layer. Just a long story. I was such in a rush. I went ahead, I even affixed the wood sheet to the counters already. I can't call them counters, to the base cabinets already. I need to undo it because I gotta flip those around. I gotta mark where I'm gonna put the little vacuum dust collection boxes and everything else. So kind of got ahead of myself, but like I said, hit that like and enjoy the video. All right, after I got finished with the cabinets, I went ahead and cleaned on up, sweeped up little stuff, and got on out of here for the evening. And I went in there, showered, watched cable, went to sleep, woke up next day, went to work, and now I'm back in here. So today I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn that the counter piece over. I'm gonna start calling it the counter piece, even though it's underneath, it's a substrate right now. I'm gonna turn that over, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my Anchor Sweep vacuum boxes. They're like the dust collection boxes, not vacuum boxes. But I'm getting ready to mark out how I'm gonna put those on there, and I'm gonna go ahead and take you through that process. And I'll try and do step by step, but I know how I am. I get ahead of myself and I just start doing stuff and I don't record it. Sorry, it's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? Plus, building this place right here ain't the point of my whole end goal anyway. So I'm gonna take you guys along for it. Remember to hit the like, share, subscribe. Don't mean a lot to you, but it means a world amount for me. And remember to comment down in the section if you got any questions or you need any answers or tips to doing anything else. All right, so let's get it. As you can see, I deceived you a little bit. I put the first one on there so I can make sure I remember how to do it. I haven't done it in years since my last garage in my old home. So I didn't want to look like a jackass in front of you and be faithful fumbling around and all of that. So yeah. All right, first things first. What you want to do is go ahead and mark ahead of time where your dust collection boxes are going to be. You want to make sure that they are not in the way of like two cabinets meeting up, you know what I mean? You don't want them running into it when you try and turn it over and put it down. You want to make sure that you have clear access underneath because you're going to be hooking up some tubing to it. It's going to go into what I'm doing. I'm using PVC. Because of experience, you're supposed to use 4-inch PVC on this, but my vacuum unit that I found at my other home it had good suction, but it wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Because that diameter was too wide. So what I've done is I compressed it down to 3. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and do that last. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to bore a hole into your cabinets, and just to realize when you turn that dust collection box over that the hole is here for the dust collection box, and you put the hole here in your cabinets. You know what I mean? So you want to do those, bore the holes out on that cabinet last. Second part, what you want to also do is you want to trace around where you're gonna put it on the board. You know what I mean? So you make sure you got your counter piece up there, right? I'm gonna just keep saying counter because that's just what I say. You're gonna put your counter piece up there. You're gonna flip it over. You know what I mean? So before you flip it, go ahead, mark where you want your router top to be. You know what I mean? So that way you're not just randomly putting the box anywhere. So when you turn it over, trace out where it's gonna be. Mark the screw holes on there. Make sure you got your screws and everything and things that'll fix it to that wood. All right, now right here, what you want to do is you want to just take some thin weather stripping. You know what I mean? Because if you work with anything like MDF wood, it's kind of a soulless wood, and dust goes everywhere. It'll seep out of little crevices, and next thing you know, dust will be in your garage, all over your bike, and all over your car, and all over everything else. And getting up MDF wood dust is a monster. If you ever had to do it, put it down in the comments below and tell me what's the worst circumstance you've been in when you needed to get up MDF dust. So what you do is you take that weather stripping. Doesn't have to be a real fat kind. It could be a little 1.25 inches or something like that. You know what I mean? You can get that at like Home Depot, Lowe's. You can probably get it at Walgreens. Who knows? You want to put that. You want to make sure the edges of your box is clean, like you see me doing here. Go ahead, when you get that done, cut you some pieces. It don't have to be one long piece to go around there, although if you want to do it like that, by all means do it. You know what I mean? And go ahead, affix it to it, cut off any edges, and that'll be your seal right there once you get it down on that wood. Right here, what you want to do is you want to take your little scroll pencil or compass if you got one. You can get a compass anywhere. You don't necessarily have to run to Home Depot. Like I said, you go to Walgreens, Dollar General, Family Dollar, wherever. You know, anybody sells pencils or pens. Get you one of those. And what you want to do is you want to scroll and go around. I know, did I really have to do that? You're watching the video. Anyway, you have to scroll, go around, because you want to cut enough area so that when the router is cutting, it'll pull the wood dust down and everything, but you don't want anything in the way. So don't just make a little hole in there, you know what I mean? You want to cut around. You don't want to cut the whole shape out that you traced earlier, because obviously you put the box on there and it just fall through. So you want to leave just enough so you can affix it to the wood. Take your drill bit or your step bit, you want to drill through the inside of the scribe line that you just made. Then after you do 4 of those in each corner, you want to go ahead and chase it with the jigsaw. So you want to just, like I said, do a rough cut out of there, just enough so it can sit on there and not fall through the actual wood. right, this step, go ahead and affix the dust collection box to the wood substrate right now. But when you put the screws in, don't jam the screws down in there. Don't tighten them as you put them in. Put them in almost kind of like in a start pattern, like you would do if you were changing a 5-lug tire or a wheel off of a car or a truck. And once you get them all in, you get them kind of snug, then you go back and then you kind of, you know, make sure that they're really in there. You know what I mean? You're not torquing them down. I guess you technically are torquing them down, but we don't know what the torque spec is. There's no torque spec. Use common sense. Don't try and go through so much that you end up spinning the screw out. It's a good wood, it's pine, and you know what I mean? It's not like MDF where it would just go through like a piece of drywall and just spin, you know what I mean? So it will seat and catch purchase, but you gotta make sure you got them in there and do, like I said, just right. Alright, go ahead and flip your substrate over. Make sure it's positioned right, because the next phase coming will be the top that goes over that'll have and house the routers actually. So let's move on to this point where we turn it over. Don't be afraid to ask for any help. It can be kind of awkward. Those dust collection boxes don't weigh much, but they do weigh something, you know what I mean? So they'll make it kind of awkward when you're going to turn that wood over. So if you need help, go ahead and ask somebody in the house or a friend or anyone else that you need to have to assist you to do that. You don't want to turn it over, drop it, and break everything, you know what I mean? Because they're not cheaply built, but if you drop them on the floor and knock them up against something, you could potentially crack one of them. So don't do that. No. Alright, so now I gotta go back to, and I'm gonna get me a 4x8 sheet of birch wood, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them rip it down to 2 foot the way I had them do the other board there that I put on there for the substrate. I'm gonna bring that back, put it on there, get a few test little measurements, mark some different areas underneath, like where the cutouts are for the 2 routers and the garbage can that'll be in there. And since it's still not like I said, it's over 8 foot on there, every sheet 4 by 8 foot. So I'm gonna put the piece down at the other end. If you were looking, you see where the seam is, where the garbage can hole is another piece that I added there. If you was following the video, you've seen it. But instead of having that same seam right there on top of that, I'm gonna put the full board over it, cut the hole, and go down there, and I'll put another piece down at the end. It's been a long day. You guys don't see the other parts between the takes. I have to go and run, do different things. I have to go and do stuff for my wife and doing different things here. And it took its toll on me today. I appreciate you guys and gals being here, if it's any gals at all. But like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you on the next video. All right then, peace.